on.
Well, if we follow that clock, it's 9 o'clock.
Well, you know,
Yeah, I might be having technical difficulties, but it says it's live. The internet's not being detected.
So you stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And good morning to all. Well, gentlemen, item 2, the agenda, to approve the agenda. And I will call for a vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Shank aye.
Thank you. All right. How about the minutes, gentlemen? Have you had a chance to look them over?
I didn't see nothing wrong.
Me either.
Okay, no additions or corrections?
So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
All right. Been moved and seconded. Call for vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Shank aye.
Good. We've got a couple minutes here. How about, do you have any discussion on the farmland, item 5? Can you do that in a couple minutes or not? I didn't have anything with it.
The only thing I seen, I had a few people called and complained about that we should put a clause in there that the stover stays.
That the what
The
stays?
stover, the corn stalks, that should stay, should not be taken off. I don't know if we can actually do that.
At this point in time.
Right, because we did not advertise it that way.
And it was not in the lease that they were presented.
Nope,
So,
Is that ground highly erodible?
I don't
think
think
so.
it is.
I don't think so either.
I don't believe it is. It's just the nutrient factor. So, okay. So, anything else?
Yep.
Okay, I would make a mental note to maybe add that for next time. All right.
2 cents worth that for the last 2 bidding cycles before, I have suggested to you folks that you have evidence that fertilizer is put back in the farm equivalent to what the crop took off. And it has gone in one ear and out the other. But they were doing that to you farm and you didn't know for sure whether the fertilizer would be putting back, would you be okay with it? And quite a few leases have got that in here.
Maybe we could do a sticky note on the lease for next time with these couple recommendations. Could that be done, stuck in the file, Haley?
It's really in their best interest to replace the fertilizer as they go.
Depends is correct, unless they're not putting it on and don't intend to renew the lease. You know,
And they might be doing it, but I know when we have fertilizer applied, we will get a job sheet from the co-op that says, here's what we put on, so that you know
sure.
what's being put on.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, she said we can do a sticky note on these.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, or make a note with Ray, because he's the one that prepared it.
All right. Very good. So, is there any other input on that? Okay. Well, I'd entertain a motion that we authorize the signature of this.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right, been moved and seconded that authorizes signature on the farm lease between Benton County and April Harding doing business as Green Acres Ranch. Call for vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Shank aye.
Need 1 or 2 copies.
I think the one, we have to have it recorded.
Just one.
So if you guys sign it, so I can notarize it, and then we'll get April's in here.
Hi, Bill. Hi, Susie.
So number 7, you want to jump to quick?
Thanks for what?
You sure can.
So that's for that
7.
tax notice I gotta send out. They need their money up front because they want the postage. So if we could do a handwrite today, I'll get that sent to them. Next Friday, I have to ship that out. So it's to Master's Touch for $9,010. You guys have heard of that?
Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
All right, then moved and seconded that we approve handwritten check for Masters Touch LLC in the amount of $9,010, correct? All right. Call for vote, Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Deershank, aye.
And Sue.
Yes.
905.
Can we do the resignations first real quick?
I'm sorry?
Can we do the resignations, the hiring and resignations first and then circle back to the other?
Okay.
Is that okay? All right, so I have 3 resignations here. Courtney Long from the auditor's office, she accepted another position, and then Bailey Grubik and Tricia LaGrange, dispatchers, part-time dispatchers in the sheriff's office. Those are 3 resignations. Can you just sign those to approve those?
Okay. Any questions, gentlemen, on those 3 resignations?
Nope.
Okay. Am I going to get a motion to approve those?
Motion to accept the resignation of Courtney Long, Bailey Rubik, right? And Tricia LaGrange.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept those 3 resignations. Call for vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Deershank, aye.
Okay.
There was just one spot for these.
Yeah. She has to sign it all.
Okay,
And then I have a resolution for a hiring of a part-time dispatcher, Erica Novak, in the sheriff's office, starting effective tomorrow at an hourly rate of $21.08.
ready, so she'll start on the 12th. Hold it. 6th. Correct. Tomorrow. You said?
Tomorrow the 6th?
Yeah.
Okay,
That makes
I think I put 7th on there. I think it's Thursday then. Did I put 7th on there, Gary?
Yes.
Okay. March 7th. Sorry about that.
Okay, March 7th for 2108 per hour, correct?
Yep.
All right. Can I get a resolution, or, excuse me, a motion on that, please?
I would move that we hire
Erica Novak.
These-
There's a Novak, 2108 an hour.
I'll second it.
Okay, been moved and seconded that Erica Novak be hired as part-time dispatcher starting March 7th at 2108 per hour. Call for vote, Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Deershank, aye.
What's his initial?
Okay, then my other item was revisiting the January weather closure where we closed the courthouse. We brought this up a couple weeks ago, and you guys wanted some additional information on who worked and how many hours. Myron told me that all of the roads guys and Deb worked that day. Deb worked 8.5 hours, and the rest of the crew worked between 12 and 13 hours. Myron was the only one that didn't work that day. And as far as numbers, that'd be 32 people. So
Okay.
that is what would be that department. Again, to refresh your memory, the handbook, it stated that if we if the courthouse is closed by the county, regular full-time employees scheduled to work during that time will be compensated at their regular rate of pay to complete their normal work hours. And then there's a section in the handbook that says employees in department that serve the public during severe weather, including departments that provide snow removal and law enforcement, are expected to report to work during severe weather unless notified otherwise by their department head. And so Myron had come to a meeting asking, is there something that could be done for that crew that worked as far as a comp day or something? I didn't get concrete numbers from Ron on how many that would be for him. You thought 12 or 15 maybe? Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. So, just asking for a decision on that. A few of them have reached out asking if a decision had been made or if anything was going to be done by way of that. So, just wanted to see what you decided on that.
Well, I know that Tracy had some input on that, some thoughts. You had mentioned at that meeting.
I did, but I was just wondering, it's not on the agenda.
It's 9:05, discuss
Yeah, 9:05,
action on
discuss
January county
and
weather
act.
You're
closure.
right, I did not read it. I was reading before and below that, okay. I guess I was leaning on giving them the ones that actually worked 4 hours.
Okay,
That was my opinion. I'm only one.
okay.
Gary, any thoughts?
I guess it's fine with me.
Okay. And I was kind of the opinion, quite honestly, everybody else got 8 hours. And, you know, kind of a firm believer in trying to keep everybody as equal as possible. And that's kind of what I was looking at. So, in fact, I'd even make that motion that, you know, they be allotted 8 hours of comp time. Isn't that how we were doing it, comp?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's treated equal.
Okay.
I guess I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. I will call for a vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Beershank, aye.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Can we squeeze item 6 in real quick to
Yep.
set that?
Yep, so we already have the date of March 26th, but I've learned that it has to be a total separate agenda and meeting. It can only be on the tax proposal. So I would ask that you amend that from the 26th at 9:30 to be the 26th at 10 a.m., and I will do a separate agenda item for that. And then for the actual budget adoption hearing, if April 16th at 2024 at 9:30. I keep putting 2023.
Okay, so we've got those 2 dates, April 10th, excuse me, April 26th, correct?
16th
16th, all right.
at 9:30.
Ed, I thought you had 10.
No, that's the proposed tax hearing. We have to do those 2 notices, remember? It used to be called the maximum levy,
So
but now
this
it's
will
called.
be
Yep,
9:30,
yep.
okay.
So we're amending the proposed tax hearing to the
On March 16th, 9:30. April,
March 26th.
I thought I said 26.
No, you said April. No, 16th. Yeah, you kept saying 16th, sorry.
All right, March 26th at 10. Well, that's what I wrote down. You said it wrong.
Yep, that's okay.
Okay.
I've been saying 2023.
Okay,
And the other one?
is, I think it's April 16th at 9:30.
Yep, that one's good.
That's how I wrote it anyway. Okay, so, ask for a motion.
Motion to set them 2 dates.
All right,
Second.
all right, been moved and seconded. Call for vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Beershank, aye.
Thank you.
So on the 15th of March at 4 o'clock, I will be bringing that information down from the Department of Management And then I export the file to that master's touch that we just approved, and then they'll do a mailer to all the taxpayers.
Okay, thank you. All right. Well, 9:15, Matt.
I got more paper. I got your stuff.
I guess that needs to print it off.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep,
I think that was in your packet either.
That was the new one there, I think. Or maybe I did put it in there.
Yeah, I
but-
think it was.
Okay.
That's okay. We got it.
So Zetman, Tamara, Reardon, they're requesting to change the use of approximately 2 acres of land to allow for a single-family dwelling. This site is located approximately 1 mile northwest of Benton, just south of 5775 22nd Avenue Drive, Benton, Iowa. And that is in Section 7 of Taylor Township. This site is located on a 3.22 acre parcel that is owned by the applicants. Only 44% of this parcel is considered high-quality farmland. This parcel has an average weight corn suitability rating of 73, and this parcel is not in agricultural production. The parcel this site is located on is landlocked, but the applicants also own the adjoining parcel to the east, which is how they plan to gain access to this site. The applicants will need to install a new driveway to access this property, and the applicants are planning to install a new driveway just off of 22nd Avenue Drive on the south end of their adjoining parcel. And this proposal was reviewed by Randy Sherwood, Secondary Roads, and the site distances there were found to be compliant with our policies. 22nd Avenue Drive is a county hard surface road that has an average annual daily traffic count of 270 vehicles. A private sewage disposal system and a private water well will need to be installed to serve this new dwelling. This site is surrounded by single-family dwellings to the west, south, and east, and there's timberland to the north. 9 notices were sent out to adjacent property owners, and legal notices were published in the official newspapers of Benton County as required by the ordinance. Benton County Land Use received several calls from concerned neighbors who opposed this request. These individuals were encouraged to attend the meeting or submit formal comments regarding this proposal. This proposal is located in an area with a lower corn suitability rating, and it is not in production. The site is surrounded by residential development, so a new dwelling would fit in with the general land use pattern of this area. This proposal should not have any negative impacts on surrounding farm operations. And the applicants, Devin, Tamara, Reardon, are back here in the corner. Do you guys have anything you want to add to that?
No, that was well said.
And we have,
Yeah. We've got some adjacent property.
we got neighbors here.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
know the neighbors.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
So-
I think they want to speak.
okay. I presume they've got comments.
Yep.
Is the driveway coming off, is
Would you please state your name?
Oh, Jeff.
I know you, but yes.
Jeff Windsor?
Yeah.
It's the driveway coming off the Seal Coat Road, across the north end of my property, south end of their property, and coming up to where they want to build this house. As far as watershed, you know, I don't want a bunch of water coming on my property. I know I'm lower anyway, than their property, so I get some now, but the most important thing to me is the septic system, because we've had issues with septic problems from the second previous owner of Zeb and Tammy that came down and saturated my ground and killed off some of my shrubs I had there. So, and Mark Greenlee, rest in peace Mark, told me at that time there could never be a house back there because the ground is so saturated and there's springs under there. And obviously right now it's not, because it's extremely dry. So, that's my main concern, septic system. Had problems before in this issue, with the septic, and now they want to put another septic in there and have a house up there, so that's my concern.
Okay.
Because our wells are back there, so on the back side of my house, north of my house. So,
I know all that has to have certain setbacks, et cetera, from the wells, isn't that correct?
Correct, yeah.
What are they? What are the setbacks?
For if the secondary treatment would have to be 100 feet, if it would be sand filter, conventional system. If it's any sort of container system or septic tanks as well, it's 50 feet from the wells, which that area should meet all those.
You can put a septic system 50 feet away from a well?
A tank, a septic tank, or if it's a confined
Contained
unit,
system.
like an alternative system where it's within a sealed tank, that can be the 50 feet as well.
No.
Let's see, 2.5, 3 years ago.
Bob, please.
Bob
state.
Runman.
Thank you.
Well anyways, over a couple of years ago, my sewer system failed. So I had the Hopkins crew from Mount Auburn come put it in. It cost over $21,000 just to put a new sewer system in. Well, in 1971 or 2, when that house was built, a 700-gallon one-compartment tank was legal. And it was a 3-bedroom house then. It's still a 3-bedroom house 3 years ago. And they jumped me up to a 1,250-gallon tank. And this crazy coconut bin that cost $6,500 I got to put in to treat the gray water. And okay, he told me at the time a sewer could not be within 100 foot of the well cap. Okay, so I didn't by law have to have a 50-foot lateral, but Mark wanted it, so I said okay. So we put a 50-foot lateral in, and we get that in there. The Hopkins boys, fabulous job. Mark done a great job. Yeah. Whoa, my sewer's within 50 foot of my well cap now. Okay, it's treated water when it's out of the septic tank and through the coconut bins, so then it's legal to have it within less than 100 feet. I just have experience at that because I paid the bill. So once it goes through some kind of filtration system, you can put it anywhere next to the well. I just know that from my experience.
Yep. Other comments?
I've got a question.
And again, Wayne, please state your name.
Wayne Sila. Where are you gonna get the dirt for this driveway?
Zebra from the county.
Hi, Tammy Reardon. So we're in the preliminary stages. We just wanted to see if we could get this land approved. We didn't know anything about, that in the past, and it's good to know that we just have his mother is moving from Colorado, and so we're trying to figure out, what goes on next. So this is the starting process, and then we have to find out from contractors and everybody else, if it were to get approved, where.
Back to my point, I own ag property to the west, to the north, and to the east, and I absolutely do not want any part of the county digging up my road ditches for a driveway. I don't want to be hard to get along with. But we've had issues with a vertical cut 3 feet straight down. It will upset a tractor if we get too close to the edge of the ditches. I don't want any part of it. We're in Fayette soils up there that are extremely fragile. And so I want this to go on record as saying, you cannot get the dirt. I don't care if you've got an easement to put a road in there, but you can't take it out of our ditches. I'm gonna be hard to get along with in that regard. You can haul it in from anywhere else, but not there. And then the other thing is talk about water management. Jeff brought this up. How do you plan to address, because it's wetter than dickens back there in a normal year. I get it now, but in a normal year, it is very, very wet. How are you gonna how are you gonna manage the water down there, over there?
So we're relying on professionals to do all this. We're gonna, if we can't put a septic there, it's too close to something, the watershed isn't there. We're relying on professionals. We'll put in a gravel driveway so the ground can saturate. I'm not doing any of the work. We're building an ADA compliant home for my mother. No steps, everything's automated. It's a new smart home. She has vision issues. So it's gonna be a simple single-level dwelling. You know, if something can't be done, it can't be done. I'm gonna rely upon professionals. I'm not digging out of the ditches. I don't have tractors pulling from county soil. We're hiring it done, and it will be done in a professional manner. I mean, you're not talking to someone who's conducting the work.
Barb, does your rules allow, I mean, you're gonna have to drain that area, or you're gonna have a dickens of a time if you plan on putting a basement in, or maybe even in the normal course of living there, it's gonna be wetter than dickens. If your plans include tiling that area and running tile towards my farmland to the west, we're not gonna get along very good at all. So we just need to understand how you're gonna do this, and I, I for one would like to see that plan put in place, so if you bring it to the fence and dump it on me, we're not gonna get along very good at all.
He cannot do that, Wayne.
What?
He has to keep all of the water on his own property,
Good luck.
and that's true.
Okay, just so we understand.
I have a question. I'm Lynn Church, and I'm further down from there. So you talk about the water, those, what you're talking about, some of the seepage coming up. We are the last people that you would be able to put an easement on to get to the other part of that land. So that's part, right now we haven't until you decide to sell it. There's water constantly. We have trees that fall down from that area, and then we get water all over in our garages and stuff like that. And it's never been addressed because their water comes even on down in my basement, in our garage, and things like that because of the property lines being so close. So I have a little concern. We're further up, but exactly what you're talking about, we're further up, and then we have that, if you decide to sell the other to get more property to be sold for people, we're gonna run into the same issue. So we have a concern if this is just a one-time, that you're just gonna build that, or are you gonna look at selling some of the other properties? Because the water is a big issue. We have to deal with it now. Just on a normal year, whenever a tree goes down, we have water for a long time. That we have to hopefully wait for the ground to dry up, because there's no other way to get rid of it, because it's just coming onto our land. And we just wondered what the rest of the property, what you have.
We're looking to keep the property in the
Okay.
family.
Okay.
We're not doing anything with it. I have a question with you into the
Yeah.
county. You guys have a building built right over my easement, literally.
No, it's not over your easement. We checked on that. The easement is actually on the other side. Before we put it in, we had that taken care of. We had so many feet before that, so it's not on yours.
Okay. We're not looking to do anything with that parcel.
But I just want you to know, we did
Absolutely.
not
And I know the
build
water
over
issues
that.
over there for sure. The neighbors before, it's been a problem, so.
Yeah, and we made
Yeah.
sure before we put any building up, we would not put it on easement ground, because then that point would be, we'd have to tear it down. The easement is on the other side of the pine trees, if you know where those are. That's where your easement is to get to your property, that we mow and everything, so. Yeah,
But, so again,
it's okay.
this is all trying to figure things out, and so it's good to hear from people, because we don't know that about all the properties, so we appreciate finding that out. And this is also to find out, okay, should we do this, or should we try to figure something else out? My parents also live with us different times of the year, but we'll figure something else out if it doesn't work for everybody, so.
Can you add on to your house?
Well,
It's a thought, but
well, that's what we'll have to try to figure out, and that's what this was about, is trying to figure everything out with everything.
Yeah.
I think we probably have to still probably change the septic and everything with more people,
But I do know you can do septic uphill, it can be pumped. I mean, we're not gonna put in a septic system that's gonna cause problems for neighbor or have water runoff. The driveway can be gravel instead of concrete to allow saturation.
Bob Rumlin again. I've lived out there for 33 years, basically. I'm halfway up the hill. In the wintertime, if you ain't hauling ass, you're stuck when you get to my driveway, because it gets steep, okay? In the last 30 years, twice my basement's flooded because of runoff And it's cost me, I'm on the north side of this situation, so it's really not a problem for me. But the point of the fact of the matter is that ground's wetter than hell, because it's cost me $10,000 2 different times to redo my basement, and it comes out of the ground,
Yep.
you know? And it's odd because, okay, I'm just a guy, right? But if you live halfway, 3/4 the way up the hill, how in the hell am I getting water problems? You know?
Susan, you had a
Oh,
question?
Sue Keller. I'm just curious as to why only part of their property is considered agricultural and not residential.
So there's a difference between tax classification and the land use. So with Benton County, everything in the rural area, it's all agricultural. And we approve any new non-agricultural uses. So if there's additional use being added, in this case, another dwelling, then you have to get approval for that new dwelling. But it's the use of the land we regulate versus entire area being zoned differently.
And with part of it being grassy area, the other part being timber, of course.
Yep.
I don't know if you tax them differently.
No.
No, it's not all timber, that's where they're looking to build is a grassy area, if I'm correct, so. Okay, I am very familiar with that land out there. In-laws lived there for a long, long time, does get wet. Yeah, it does, their garage floor was always wet. Yep.
And you can't go by what's going on this year with water, like other people have said.
No, of course. ADA compliant house probably would not have a basement. I would imagine it's probably going to, and that's up to them, you know. But ADA would not have the steps. So that part, if they're going to build it strictly compliant for that, I would imagine it's going to be a slab. From there, I don't know that we can restrict them to putting in a sealed septic system, you know, versus a leach field, but get the setbacks. And, you know, from there, that's pretty much where we're at, following the rules, no matter how we may or may not feel personally. So, gentlemen, any questions or input?
I guess that's my opinion. I would wait, you can meet with your neighbor over here, Wayne, and see if there's anything you guys can come up with of tiling this out and hooking this onto your tile. Because I'm like you don't want water dumped on you. You can't legally do that.
That is correct.
And you don't want it legally running down onto Jeff's property.
No, that's what I mean. A tile there on the north side of your property would help the water from actually coming on you if you could put it right on close to the property line, east and west, right?
I would hope.
You know what I mean?
Is what is it is, I would not think one tile line's gonna work.
No,
But the only way that's gonna work, if you got an outlet that you can hook on him somewhere.
Well, then the question is, can they legally tile the area where they're gonna work and run it out and dump it in the road ditch?
That's gonna be a Randy Sherwood. That's gonna be a question that needs to be cleared with
That'd be
secondary
wet all the
roads.
time. That'd be
Because,
wet all the
I
time.
mean, the
yeah, they
question
may
is,
or may not allow that.
Right.
I mean, can you
Depending.
do that? I didn't realize you could do
You
that.
can in some instances, but the county has to approve it, and they'll look at it, take a look at the whole thing around there, and decide if it's a good thing to dump anything in there or not. He has said no before. It's saturated.
No,
So it could happen.
Well, are you wanting to table this? Is this what I'm
That's what I
trying to
would
hear?
suggest. You could, find out from your neighbors. You kinda know what's going on now. Wayne's on top of the hill.
I have a question.
Jeff?
Your driveway you want to put off the seal coat, you're going to have an easement off your property
Yep.
to get to there.
Yep.
Okay. And you say you're not going to do nothing with that other lot you have inside?
No.
Okay, you say that. I'm just saying. I can see you could come off that property into that, to get to that, by church's property, You know, I'm not saying you're going to, but you have to look at that, if that's what's gonna happen. Why don't you just go through your driveway to get back to this house? Why you gotta have a driveway across your property just north of me?
Ambulances?
Pardon me?
An ambulance, quick access.
Okay, well,
Sorry, she's been in and out of the hospital 8 times this last year, so that's why we're moving her here. And so
I
we
just
just
need her
think-
closer to me. We asked,
We understand. I
we asked if
understand.
you would sell your house in the past. We asked Bob if he'd sell his house. Both of you declined. There's where we are.
there's enough checkbook maybe. So, that's what I just, the driveway easement clear across the property, snow issues, where's the snow gonna, pushing the snow off wherever, rut it up, washing off onto my property. I mean, why wouldn't you go into yours if it's for your mom and you say you tend not to do nothing with that lot north of you, then, I don't see why you need a driveway clear across there. I'd come up behind your house and be easier access to me. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I hear you recommending it be tabled until they get some things worked out and then come back to us.
He wanted to say something, yeah.
I'm good.
You're good?
Okay.
All right.
What's the concern with the driveway, I guess? Well, there'll be a fence there. I'm gonna put.
What kind of fence is that?
A fence that can breathe, so it'll be sliding on both sides, so the wind can blow.
How tall?
6 foot.
How,
Well, I can't plow it on his property because of the fence.
how far, how long a fence?
It'll be an L from the shed all the way to the road.
From
So it'll
what?
be by your shed, and then all the way across property line.
My greenhouse, you mean?
Mhm.
And you're going north with it too?
Nope, not yet. Just preliminarily that, give you some separation and, can't plow onto your property.
No, well. Okay, that's for sure. I mean, you're gonna build a fence, if this gets approved, you're gonna put a fence for sure?
I think it'd be good for you and us, is that.
I'm just asking, I'm
Yeah, do
asking.
you not like the fence? or-
No, I don't have a problem with that,
Okay.
so.
I guess my only comment, Bill Keller, my only comment about the fence would be how it would affect snow drifting out there.
Mhm, yeah.
That, I'm just behind you to the west, and that snow can become a challenge, let's put it that way. I'll move we table it.
Okay, until they come forth come back to us, is that what you're, rather than give it a timeline?
Yeah, I mean, with your neighbors,
And Benton County, I would think.
yeah,
It's about the tiling
Yeah.
and the discharge.
yeah. But I think, don't that land fall to the west, Wayne? Don't it? Behind north of your house, don't that land,
It's all, it
or is it?
A little bit, it goes
comes south.
mostly
I'm just
south.
thinking in my head, I
Say
don't,
mostly
south,
rolls to
a
the
little
south.
okay, all right. I'll second that motion to table it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, and I will call for a vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Beershank, aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come back to us when you get the answers.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I mention a comment real quick on the weather closures? We forgot to mention the maintenance, they're also that way.
Okay. Yeah, and I think.
What was that,
eventually-
Haley? The maintenance employees were also working that snow day? Oh, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, I didn't know that,
Realize
so.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
They're probably taking care of the snow removal. Okay, all right. So do we need to amend that motion?
If you would, please.
Okay,
We'll make a motion, we'll amend the motion for the 8 hours
the comp time?
comp time to include the maintenance department of the courthouse.
Okay.
Second.
All right, that's been moved and seconded, and I'll call for a vote on that. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Beershank, aye.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 9:30, we slid right by that one, but here we are. Okay. It's good to see you too.
You too.
Take care.
You got it from. I got another copy. Did you have a copy of that from the other week?
Oh, I do, it's probably up above. Sorry.
Nope, that's all right.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, I guess, going to be Steve and Lexus Vidal. Again, they're requesting to change the use of approximately 1.25 acres of land to allow for that single-family dwelling in the buildings associated with their well pump business. And so if you remember this site, it's located approximately 2 miles south of Benton on Highway 218. This entire parcel, it's 5.44 acres, and it's currently owned by Joseph Mulnix. If you remember a few weeks ago here when we had this hearing, first time with that site, issue came up with the driveway there with the DOT. And so at that point, what they're looking for now is to come off of 62nd Street, install a new driveway off of that. So as part of that, they would have to be improving 62nd Street, as that's dirt road right now, to access the property. And Steve has met with Randy Sherwood and looked at this proposal as well. And so they're looking, it's total parcel, it's a 5.44 acres. The site, it's looking at 1.25 acres. And I do have some copies here from Steve provided here for you guys to look at. That's just kind of a sketch there of what he's proposing here. So if you want to look at those and pass those around. So again, this site here, they're going to be installing that driveway off of 62nd Street and would have to improve that there, put gravel on it. This parcel, it is considered high quality farmland, but it has predominantly been used as a pasture since prior to the adoption of our ordinance. It never really was in crop production at all, and it's been baled sometimes here, sporadically on and off. And the total size of that field is less than an acre, so it's not really anything that today's farm equipment could really access that field to do anything with as large as equipment is now. And we've received that letter, which you should have had there, from the objection from Jennifer White, the property owner to the south of the site. Since then, we've not heard any other comments from any of the other neighbors. So this proposal, it's located in the isolated corner of the property, and it's situated between an intersection with 218 and the existing dwelling. And again, it would be difficult to farm this area with today's large equipment. So it was found this proposal should not have any negative impacts on the surrounding farm operations.
I know Steve had asked to have this tabled.
Yep.
Steve and Lexa had asked to have this tabled until they could check a few things out. And so it's, obviously you have done some homework, that's why it's back on the agenda.
Yeah, I met, Steve Spidell, I met with Randy out there, and we would have to bring the gravel road up to county specs, and we're willing to do that for the area we need for our driveway.
Sure. Okay. And then they would, I presume, county would take care of that portion in the winter?
I don't think so.
You would take care of that? Okay.
The state will have fun with us.
Okay. Didn't know if you'd worked that out or not, but, because it's a mighty short
Yeah,
distance.
it's fine. We've got the equipment to take care of it.
Okay, all right.
Appreciate it.
So, gentlemen, what questions have you?
On your drawings, what kind of gravel or pavement?
Just all gravel.
All gravel? Okay.
Those were my questions, how they were gonna handle the dirt road, because that's how they were gonna have to come off. And who is gonna bring it up to specs for gravel, and who is gonna maintain it. So, obviously, you get a pothole there, you're gonna fill it in.
Yeah, we learned with the state that the driveway has to be from the white line 120 feet. The county didn't even realize that, so with an intersection, that's what the code requires. And it was quite a shock.
Sure. Okay. Well, comments?
The county's only gonna gravel that down to 200 feet maybe?
Yeah, we'll probably, less than 200 feet, so the 50 foot, 170 feet from the white line, we'll probably go down 200 feet. We'll have to pay for.
Okay. Do you know, did Randy or Myron act like they're gonna dig the ditch out and actually raise the road?
No, not really, no, because with the grade and everything, it's fine, pretty much. And the width of the road was the appropriate, width right now, so. But we'll have to do what, at my cost, what has to be done.
You have no problems with adjacent property owners or tenants tracking
No,
the mud onto the gravel and,
No.
and gravel onto the mud?
no.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure everybody's good neighbors, so. yeah.
Hopefully Randy wants an access to, he's been having a problem. If it's a little wet, getting his crops out where sometimes he could get in there.
Sure.
So he might extend that further on himself, bring it up with rock.
Yeah. Okay. Work in conjunction with, that'd be nice. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
Motion approved.
Second.
okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve this land use change for Steve and Lexus Bidell. A call for vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Rear shake aye.
Very good.
Thank you.
Greg and Wayne, I'm gonna turn this over, I've got a funeral to go to, so I'm gonna turn this item over to the fellas.
Okay.
And let them handle it. All right, fellas, I'm gonna excuse myself.
This is gonna be the last one then, right?
This should be the last item, yes, till Thursday, but we'll see tonight at 6:30.
Yeah.
Does that mean you save the best for last?
I thought so.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Wayne's name was, of course, last on the agenda.
Yeah, okay. Wayne and I both came to talk to you about two things. Well, I wanted to bring you up to speed with what's happening with the garden. Let me back up. This last year, we harvested and gave away about 16,000 pounds of produce to all of our food pantries in Benton County. We also shipped a little bit to Lynn County and Haycap because we don't want anything to spoil. We also shipped a little bit to Northeast Iowa Food Pantry. What I wanted to talk to you about today, realized that our lease was not up to date, so I had our county attorney, Ray, adopt or write a new lease for us. And the only changes, and I think you got that in an email, correct?
Yep.
So you probably all saw it, but I did make one change, and I told Ray this, but he hasn't completed it yet. The only thing I would change was, we don't pay all utilities, we just pay for water, because we have no way of metering our electricity. So we have a water meter that Haley bills us off of, well, I don't know if it's you directly, but bills us off of our water meter. So I wanted to make sure it was clear in there that we do not pay electricity, so that we're not misunderstanding either one. And so that's what the change is in the green here. I just highlighted what I had done with the thing, and we can discuss that later, or if you have more questions, we can handle that. The second part, well, I'll shut up and ask if you got any questions on that, the lease itself. And I'm probably throwing it at you and you haven't had a chance to look at it, so I apologize about that too. It's basically going to be a renewable lease unless we have objections on either side. And it also fits within our boundary that we had established earlier, that we're not going to go for a 5-year lease, we're going to do year after year based on occupancy of this property, so that works best for both of us. Yeah, you had a question, Tracy?
I would just wonder, I see this one here, and then the one I printed off here.
This is like second page or so. What is it here?
See the difference of the two?
Utilities. Okay, you have a 7. Yeah, it's item number 7, and I just extended it. It says, the tenant shall be responsible for all utilities. So all I did was change and said, we are responsible for the water utilities that takes to water the garden. So that's the only change that I made.
I guess I wouldn't worry about it,
Okay,
in my opinion.
okay.
You ain't got no meter over there, so.
Yeah, to electricity-wise, no.
No, so you can't be charged for that anyway. So.
Yeah, that's what we thought, and we appreciate the donation of the electricity to what we do. Really don't use a ton of electricity except in the summer when we use the cooler. So I have no idea actually how much electricity we use, but I wanted you guys to be fully aware of that, so you're not thinking, but we appreciate the donation part of that to happen. So that would be my only change. The second part then is what I gave you. We are looking into, and I'll defer to Wayne, we're wanting your permission to build an additional hoop, which will obviously be a temporary structure like the other two. If something happens where we leave, we would probably take the temporary structures with us, except for the overhang building. If I understood it right, when you first purchased the property from Mike, the agreement was he either left them on the property or else he got them off before the completion of the transition. Am I correct in that?
I believe so.
Okay, so what I'm saying is we need to ask your permission to build this, but if we were to move or something were to change, we would take the 2 hoops plus a new one, and I'll shut up and let Wayne talk about the new hoop that we're talking about building.
Yeah, well, like I said, we delivered 8 tons of produce last year, but there's still something missing. And we talked to the pantries, and they'd like to have something later on, like in the winter, some greens and such. So this hoop is going to be less than half the size of the big one, 16 by 48, I believe. And down the middle of it inside, we'll have like a 3 to 4 foot wide bed. And we got a couple types of head lettuce we're going to put in there, and parsnips and such. So when it gets to be like November or whatever, we can put some hoops over that with another skin over that. So it's a hoop inside of a hoop. And you're supposed to be able to carry this over through a lot of the winter time, because those cool crops will grow in there. Yeah.
And our plan is to extend our growing season,
Right,
obviously.
So they deliver greens to the pantries later on, December, January. Whatever.
We'd love to go year-round, but that's probably impossible, but we can get a lot closer.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at, is to build a new hoop, and we're seeking, and that's the second part of what I had here. The little sheet that I handed you is from this piece here is from the NRCS, FSA, as our landlord, you agree to not move that building within 5 years of us being here. I think it says 5 years. And we have to get that signed, because otherwise NRCS FSA will not loan us or not give us the money. So we're seeking a grant from them, an EQIP grant, to go ahead and put that up. And this is a piece of paperwork that we need to get taken care of too. So it just says you as our landlord will not remove that fixture. I think it's for 5 years. So those are the 2 things we wanted to talk to you about, was make sure we got the lease set up, and then make sure that the 5-year NRCS was going to be decent for you guys to sign. Does that make sense?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. You're gonna put a furnace in this new one?
No.
Just heat it by Mother Nature.
Well, to that end, we did use a little supplemental heat. Last year, we got our, with our tomatoes, we got a little ahead of ourselves, and we ended up putting a couple, 3 little
Small heaters. in
heaters
for-
just to keep them alive till we hit spring. And so we may put up some supplemental heat that way, but we don't have any intentions of putting up a permanent system.
Well, the idea is you run it east and west, so it grabs more sunlight during the day. And then you don't harvest except between like 1 and 2:30 in the afternoon when it's still somewhat warm inside. And the smaller hoop warms up faster than the larger one does.
Because you have less
When the sun
cubic foot
hits, yeah.
of air to deal with, so,
These extra heaters, were they electric then?
yes.
There's little small heaters like this, they have a
Okay.
couple, yeah,
And we'd keep it at 40 degrees?
something like that.
Yeah, so, yeah. And that's the reason we did that is because we obviously had them ready to go. The tomatoes were getting like this, we had to put them in the ground. Otherwise, they were gonna die on us. Well, they were just gonna get too big. So we dropped them in the ground and then turned off cold again. It's like, oh crap. So we kept them alive, and actually we survived quite well. We had pretty good tomato crop this year, so, yeah.
Okay.
Any
questions?
questions, thoughts?
Whereabouts you gonna put this second or third heat? Whereabouts on the property?
Go ahead.
Haven't decided?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
no,
specific.
between the garage and the bus shed, that line of trees, just off the east end of that. This
So it'd
one.
be what we call the southeast corner of that first plot.
At the east end of those trees, the last tree, we're gonna be to the northeast a little bit.
Y'all get enough sun?
Yeah, because we'll be this side of the trees. So, yeah. So it's right as you pull in, and we have that big strip between the garden and the hoop, it'll be right in that southeast corner of there is what we're looking at. And then we're planning also to grow, because the trees shade us so much, we're planning on putting up some, or doing some, go ahead, I'll let you cover that.
Yeah. Along north of the trees, to the shade of the trees, the crops out there are kind of short, so we're expanding our square footage of garden because we have a different mulch layer and the beds will be a little wider. So from the east end, from the west end of that new hoop, clear to the end, we'll plant some red clover or something to pull in the pollinators, the bees and such, so it's not affecting our crops anymore, so.
And as you can see, we plowed that whole thing up because we're gonna go a different direction. We're not gonna go north-south, we're gonna go east-west. And that was based on Mike's commentary. Plus, we were hoping that our weed pressure will be a lot less with covering it all. Instead of having grass strips, we're gonna use a fabric cover between the rows and come up with a whole new system. So our watering will be different than it was this last year too. We're kind of grabbing by the seat of the pants here and seeing how it's going to work, but we'll be okay, I think. So, yeah. We had a couple on our group that said, well, I don't think you should plow that, we're going to get weed pressure. I know we will get weed pressure the first year, but thereafter. And we're trying to minimize the use of Roundup as much as possible, is really what we're after. So, yeah.
Less mowing.
Yeah, a lot less mowing and fall off and things like that occur. Does that all make sense? Okay.
The water lines that were in the ground,
Well, they lay on top.
they laid on top?
Yeah, and we'll just change it so it goes this way instead of going this way.
And we did have it, I did do is it 8-1, what is it, the call to get?
811.
Yeah, we had it all, and so there's still orange flags out there. The most critical one that Mike has warned us about is there's a fiber line runs right through, that's where those orange flags are, and we've permanently marked it. We do not, I don't see us ever tearing that up, that grass strip. It's a nice access between the two properties there, or the two gardens. And if we get too deep, you could hit that one, and we certainly don't want to hit that one. Everything else is way out of our area, so we're good to go with whatever construction. Of course, construction we do is gonna be fairly minimal as far as depth, to put that in, so,
Except the hoop building.
yeah. Well, it won't be real deep.
Couple of feet.
Yeah.
Drag the pipes in, I don't know how far they go down.
And that's the reason why I went ahead and did a 811, so that we could figure out, are we okay there? And everything showed we were good, so. We will possibly trim a little bit of the trees on the, we're debating on that, on our side of the trees too. And I hit you every time. Are we getting close to a fence?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
That fiber optic, don't that run on the north side of the building straight out to the west?
From our deck,
Yep.
down the middle of that grass strip, right down the middle, clear almost to the fence.
Yeah, so I don't know where it comes into this building. All they marked for us is to the deck, and they didn't mark it through the overhang buildings. I don't know where it goes from there, but it obviously must connect in here. But Mike said that's probably the easement from way back when that street was still open, before they closed it for the school, whatever. So I'm assuming I know there's gotta be a fiber line running straight south then, right? But I don't know where it ends. They didn't mark that because I didn't tell them to, or ask them to. So, yeah, does that again make sense? Yeah, but that's something for the future, and we've marked it on the deck already, so that when we pull the flags, we still know where that's at.
Okay.
Because,
I buried a couple of rocks, one at each end, right over the top, so we can see it too.
so we'll remember where
I
stuff
remember where
is.
it is, yeah. But we're not gonna plow that up.
No, that one,
We like to get our pickup back to the north end of the hoop.
yeah, it makes it really
Yeah.
accessible for us to make it work, so.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Well, I'll make a motion that we'll have the vice chair sign for this contract with hoop building from USDA. How's
Okay.
that sound?
Cool.
And then we want to wait on the contract.
I'm good with it now, as long as you're good with the changes that I made, and I will send it on
Good
to,
with it. And this has got Rick's name in it, so I mean, we'll wait.
that's fine.
He can
Yeah.
sign that. I'm going to speak for him.
Right.
Thursday.
Right, okay. And I will send you a clean copy without the green marking on it, and send it to you guys, and then, yeah. A verbal agreement's good enough for us, I just want to make sure it was, we had her taken care of.
That's my motion. You want to second it?
Second.
All right. You're the vice chair. I'm talking too much. Go.
Well, I guess we'll call for a vote.
Seaman, aye.
Beer shake aye.
Cool,
There you go.
thanks, gentlemen. Sorry it takes so much time. And so when you're done, I'll go ahead and take that, and I'm kind of rushy this morning, I got a meeting in Boone this morning, or this afternoon. And again, I know I've expressed this many times, but we really appreciate how much good you're doing for the community and county residents and the food that you give us. So you're a huge part of that. If we didn't have the land to grow it on, we couldn't do it, so.
It seems to be working out okay.
Well, it's unfortunately, the problem's getting worse instead of better. All right. I'll leave the rest of you. Haley, do you need a copy of this then?
Oh, yeah. You can scan it to me. 'cause-
Okay, sure. I'll
Yeah,
leave
'cause
it.
you-
Thanks, guys.
I will.
Just sign my copy otherwise.
What's that?
Or he can sign mine.
He can sign
Yep.
my copy and give it to her.
Yeah, that'll work.
Oh, cool, all right, no problem. Thanks, everyone.
Be
Thanks,
great.
Greg. I got your other email too, yesterday, so,
Cool, good.
good.
All right.
I guess if we're done, we just will adjourn, eh?
You got public comments?
Yeah, is there any public comments?
Kara has something to say.
So, I apologize, nobody notified myself or the commissioners that the new VA director appointment was tabled?
Yeah, because you told me to tell Myron in maintenance, so I didn't know that.
Yeah. The reason why is that Rick's at a funeral today,
So why didn't he notify me yesterday when he was here?
because it wasn't tabled till this morning.
But he would have known about,
on the agenda.
he would have known about the funeral though, right?
We didn't table it, like I said, until the beginning of the meeting, the approval of the agenda. That's when we tabled everything.
Oh, the feed cut out, so.
That's why.
That wasn't.
That's why. But we're gonna do it Thursday.
So I'm off on Thursday.
Oh,
Can the board act today on it still? Once the agenda has been posted and there are 2 of you for a quorum?
I can come back if you want to recess and just come back.
okay, we can come back for you.
Thank you.
So for numbers, items 16 and 17.
I already had one commissioner here. I told him 11, so he just ran to Tyson's and then he'll be back. And the other commissioner was at a doctor's appointment this morning, so we wouldn't have known. We
All
didn't see
right.
it, I'm sorry.
We'll, I'll make a motion to go on a recess till 10:55, yeah, 11 o'clock.
Thank you. I appreciate
Second.
that.
What's that? We
No, I
good?
said thank you, I appreciate that.
Yep,
I guess we'll call for a vote.
Seaman, aye.
Mayor Shank, aye. So we'll see you at 11 o'clock.
11.
Guess we'll go into recess, huh?
You guys have those resignations and resolutions?
Here's your copy of the resolution. I didn't care if I have those other.
I can scan them to you.
I'm supposed to keep an original.
I can take that over.
Is that something new that
No, it's
hasn't
not.
happened so far this year?
No, it's supposed to be always, I'm supposed to have always the original, because I'm gonna keep it of the records. I told you that before, so I'm sorry, but it's just the way it is, so. So if you wanna go make copies and give them back.
Right, can you just tell me like why it's just now starting to be
It's not
enforced?
just now starting.
Yeah,
that.
because I have other ones that I.
No, it's not, because you've always asked me about it, and I'm supposed to keep the original.
I understand what you're saying, I'm just asking why you're enforcing it now and you haven't earlier.
Because we've been having a lot of records requests, but I'm not always just enforcing
I
it.
can't get my agendas.
Why not?
So it always was supposed to be.
Well,
this
it
year
is
was
supposed to
not
be,
due
but
until
sometimes
now.
people, why do you have to make it so difficult?
And I need to fault.
You should have it by 9 o'clock in the
That was
morning.
my answer, it's supposed to be an original.
It's supposed to be, and you
Yes.
decided you're gonna start.
No, I'm not decided it just now, Sue.
Okay.
Haley, I have other documents that aren't.
I'm sorry.
So you
but-
didn't enforce it previously, so I'm just trying to understand when the rules changed, so I have a record of it.
Sorry for the confusion. The live feed cut out, so we did not see that anything was tabled, and none of us are available on Thursday.
Well, you're all here.
So I apologize for
Not a
that.
problem.
We are here to first, Courtney had an emergency appointment this morning, so, and she was anticipating being here by 11, but doctor's offices and it's a little out of her control. So we are here, I don't know if she
Yep,
emailed
they
something
accepted
or-
her resignation this morning, so they knew she's leaving my office.
Okay, so, she's also resigning from her position as commissioner. If she hasn't emailed you already, then she could just shoot an email if you need something in writing. But she is resigning her position on the commission in order to accept employment as the new, VAGA director. And my board can, discuss. Bye.
What? I'm supposed to say something?
You're supposed to do the
What do you want me to say? We've got her hired, we need your blessing, I guess.
To accept her resignation. For the VA commission.
That's the employment. That's the employment.
Yeah, but they still need to do number 16 to accept her resignation.
Oh,
as a
sorry.
VA commissioner.
Sorry.
Okay. I guess Need a motion to accept her resignation.
I'll make a motion that we'll accept.
Didn't we do that at that meeting a couple weeks ago? It's already been done.
No,
it
it's,
hasn't.
it's, no, Courtney's still the VA commission too. So that's not
This on the
She's
commission.
a commissioner.
Oh, sorry, I thought they were together.
Yeah.
Just one different word.
Been a rough morning.
So you did make it back to Mexico?
Yeah, you were
They
worried.
didn't keep you?
You were worried about me, weren't you?
Oh, extremely.
Lost sleep over it?
So I made a
That's
motion
fine.
to accept the resignation
Second,
of Courtney.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now you got somebody new?
Yes. Courtney,
Oh, for the commission?
Yeah.
no, not yet.
They will work on that. So, I believe there is one application
I think
on
it's
file in the auditor's office. However, it is not a female. So the commission and the new director will work to see if they can find a female to fill that role, since gender balance is still a thing, at least for the time being. So they will work on that. But, so right now they would be operating as a quorum until the role is filled.
So just two of you. Okay.
Okay.
It'll be up to you guys to find that third person, correct? Perfect. All right. That it?
Next item is to appoint the VAGA director.
Okay, I thought we did that. We didn't do that
No,
one yet?
no,
No,
Okay.
not yet.
because that's what Courtney accepted.
Okay, then I'll make a motion, we'll appoint Courtney as the new VAGA director of Benton County.
Second,
Do you want to, in that motion, do her salary and stuff too, just because we didn't do it by resolution?
Sure, it's right in there.
Okay, he has it?
Yeah.
So maybe just say that in the motion then, since they're recommending that for us.
This was drawn up by the county attorney.
Yep, yep.
director's salary shall initially be set at the amount of $60,000. Okay.
And then the effective date.
First day of July each calendar year in accordance with Benton County policies. Upon the completion of the mandatory certifications required under the Iowa Code Section 35B and the issuance of federal personnel identity verification card, her salary shall automatically increase to $62,500. And she shall receive pay increases on the 1st of July each calendar year in accordance with Benton County policies. Any other questions?
When's your starting date?
She's gonna start Monday, the 11th, this coming Monday.
March 11th then.
For-
Yeah, that would be.
That has to be stated, so. All right?
Okay.
So Tracy, do you want to just restate that with the salary effective date, and then we're good?
I did not write it down,
Okay.
but it was 60,000,
She's
right?
starting at
Yes.
60, yeah.
The amount of $60,000.
And starting date is March
11th.
11th.
Okay.
And it shall increase to 62.5 first day of July.
No, 62.5 when she receives her national
Cred-
accreditation.
accreditation.
Card, yep. And then every fiscal year after would be just whatever board discretion is. In accordance with all the other
Got
departments.
that, 60,000, March 11th. And it'll go up to 62.5 when she gets the 2 accreditation,
Her mandatory, yep, her, everything mandatory per 35B, yes.
okay? That's my motion.
Second.
Call for a vote.
Okay, go ahead. Here, shake aye.
Seaman, aye. All right, that it?
Just you two can sign, Courtney said she would sign, today when she returns.
Yeah.
And then I'll give the original to Haley. Keep it on file or do whatever.
Guess we're ready for adjournment, eh?
I had something I wanted to circle back on. At the end of the previous meeting, I was trying to get clarification on documents. And so I just want to make sure I understand correctly, Haley, for going forward, because this is not something that had been done previously. When we have these resignations and things like that, you need the original and not a copy.
Correct.
Okay, so those previous ones were just,
Well,
I mean,
I've explained that a few times, but yes, we need the original, and the board always initials it, so we have it, because when those, I always have to keep everything organized per date of the board meetings, so that if something were to come up, somebody requests it, I have to have the original to provide.
right. And the reason I was seeking clarification is because that hadn't always been the case, so that's why I was just
I
asking
tried
if
to
that
make
had
that the case,
changed,
so.
or if that was how, if it just,
No, per code of Iowa, I'm the clerk to the board and I'm the keeper of the record, so that's, I need the originals.
okay. So it's always been that way?
Yes.
Even though we hadn't been doing it previously, it's not a new change or anything, it's just
Well-
that's how it should be done?
Yes, that's how it should be done.
Okay, all right. Well, I just wanted to clarify that because I was a little bit confused. So, I think that was all I had.
Motion adjourned,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.